In Russia, news reports highlight Stark Industries CEO Tony Stark's public revelation of his identity as Iron Man. Following the death of his father, Anton Vanko, Ivan Vanko witnesses this announcement and begins constructing an arc reactor akin to Stark's. Before his passing, Anton imparts to Ivan that his only legacy is his knowledge, expressing that it should have been Ivan featured on television instead of Tony. Ivan discovers old blueprints for the arc reactor, which bear the names Howard Stark and Anton Vanko. 6 months later, Stark has utilized his Iron Man suit to promote global peace. He reinstates the Stark Expo in Flushing Meadows, honoring his father Howard's legacy, with the last event having occurred in 1974. Stark reviews archival footage of Howard discussing the vision of a future city. Senator Stern insists that Stark must surrender the Iron Man technology to the government. Stark's competitor, Justin Hammer, who is currently the primary defense contractor for the military, along with Colonel James Rhodes, is also called to testify at the Senate hearing. Stern presents evidence indicating that foreign nations are progressing towards developing their own Iron Man technologies based on Stark's designs. Stark adamantly refuses to relinquish the weapons system to the U.S. government, asserting that foreign entities and rival companies, including Hammer Industries, are far from replicating his innovations, and maintains that the armor is his personal property. The palladium core within the arc reactor, which sustains Stark's life and powers his armor, is gradually poisoning him, and he has been unable to identify a viable alternative. Stark's blood toxicity level has reached 19%. The frequent use of the Iron Man suit is exacerbating Stark's health issues, while the arc reactor is rapidly consuming the palladium cores. Currently, there is no known substitute for the palladium core. As Stark becomes increasingly despondent and reckless in light of his imminent demise, he opts not to disclose his condition to anyone. He appoints his personal assistant, Pepper Potts, as the CEO of Stark Industries and replaces her with his employee, Natalie Rushman. Happy Hogan serves as Tony Stark's bodyguard and chauffeur. Stark journeys to Monaco accompanied by Pepper and Natalie. Aware that his blood toxicity has reached 53%, he resolves to participate in a Formula One race, fully cognizant of his limited time left. During the race at the Circuit de Monaco, Vanko launches an attack on Stark, utilizing an arc reactor of his own to power whip-like energy weapons. With these weapons, Vanko cleaves Stark's F1 car in half. In response to the assault, Happy and Pepper hastily drive onto the track in their Rolls-Royce to deliver Stark's suit. Stark ultimately overcomes Vanko with the assistance of his portable briefcase armor and discovers that Vanko is the son of Anton Vanko, his father's former partner who had worked with Howard on the initial arc reactor. Anton defected to the United States in 1963 but was deported back to the Soviet Union in 1967 after attempting to exploit the technology for profit, leading to his impoverished demise. This history elucidates Vanko's motivation for seeking vengeance against the Stark family. Ivan was convicted of attempting to sell Soviet-era weapons-grade plutonium to Pakistan and spent 15 years in a prison in Kopisk. Meanwhile, rival defense contractor Justin Hammer orchestrates a fake death for Vanko within the prison, plotting his escape and enlisting him to develop a series of armored combat suits aimed at overshadowing Stark at the upcoming Expo. At what he perceives to be his final birthday celebration, Stark becomes inebriated while operating the Iron Man suit, prompting his friend, Air Force Lieutenant Colonel James Rhodes, to step in. Stark had confided in Rhodes about his palladium poisoning. Rhodes then puts on Stark's Mark II armor and engages in combat with him. The confrontation concludes when both adversaries unleash repulsor beams at one another, resulting in a significant explosion. Following the altercation with Stark, Rhodes returns the armor to the military. Hammer secures the contract to incorporate advanced weaponry into the Iron Man suit. Nick Fury, the director of S.H.I.E.L.D., approaches Stark and discloses that Rushman is actually the undercover agent Natasha Romanoff, and that Howard Stark was a founding member of S.H.I.E.L.D., whom Fury had known personally. Fury presents Stark with some of his father's old materials. A concealed message within the diorama from the 1974 Stark Expo reveals a diagram outlining the structure of a new element. With the assistance of his computer JRVAS, Stark successfully synthesizes this element. Vanko then discloses to Stark that he is still alive and intent on revenge, prompting Stark to utilize the untested element, thereby eliminating his reliance on palladium. Vanko does not fulfill his obligation to deliver the combat suits to Hammer, instead claiming that he has developed armored drones. This revelation infuriates Hammer, yet he finds himself without alternatives. During the expo, Hammer presents Vanko's armored drones, with Rhodes piloting a heavily armed variant of the Mark II armor. Stark arrives in his new suit to caution Rhodes, but Vanko takes command of both the drones and Rhodes' armor, launching an assault on Ironman. Hammer is subsequently apprehended while Stark's bodyguard, Happy Hogan, along with Romanoff, attempts to detain Vanko. Although Vanko manages to escape, Romanoff successfully hacks into Vanko's network and regains control of the Mark II armor for Rhodes. Following the defeat of his drones, Stark and Rhodes face Vanko, who is now equipped with a formidable new suit of armor. Although neither Stark nor Rhodes can overpower Vanko, he is ultimately vanquished when they unleash repulsor rays at one another, resulting in a significant explosion. With his armor severely compromised, Vanko initiates the self-destruct sequence of his suit and drones, seemingly sacrificing himself in the process. Stark manages to rescue Potts from the debris of the exploding drones. Subsequently, Potts resigns as CEO, and she shares a kiss with Stark. During a debriefing, as footage of the Hulk's destruction is shown, Fury informs Stark that while Iron Man qualifies for the Avengers Initiative, Stark himself does not. Stark consents to act as a consultant on the condition that Senator Stern presents at a ceremony honoring Stark and Rhodes with medals for their bravery, a task Stern reluctantly agrees to undertake.